As we all know, caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant that has powerful effects on the body. It blocks adenosine receptors, preventing adenosine from binding and calming us down. As a result, caffeine promotes wakefulness and improves performance functions in low doses.
Greetings to you all. My name is Esal Karu,
And I'm Louis João,
finalist from Berlic International School.
and we are here to talk about the variation in caffeine concentration among different supplements containing green coffee and green tea extracts.
Many dietary supplements have caffeine as an active ingredient. Because they are supplements, they are not required by the FDA to state the concentration of caffeine they have. The purpose of this study was to find the actual amount of caffeine in various supplements, specifically those that include green tea and green coffee extracts. We analyzed the dietary supplements, green tea and green coffee, by high-pressure liquid chromatography to compare the amounts of caffeine in each.
Caffeine is generally considered safe if the recommended consumption amounts are adhered to. The daily safe dosage of caffeine is up to 400 milligrams. High amounts of caffeine may lead to dangerous effects on the human body, and excess levels may lead to irritability, insomnia, overstimulation, and in extreme cases, death.
In order to compare the caffeine content of green tea and green coffee to the content in dietary supplements, we tested samples of Costa Rica green coffee, Lipton green tea, and dietary supplements using high-pressure liquid chromatography. These commercial tea and coffee products were chosen due to their accessibility and the fact that they are representative of green tea and green coffee drinks. We hypothesized that the dietary supplements containing green tea and green coffee extracts would have a higher amount than the amount found in green tea and green coffee because of the more concentrated nature of the extracts.
We chose 4 different brands of green coffee-based supplements and 3 different brands of green tea-based supplements and tested based on affordability and accessibility. A one-way ANOVA test and a one-sample tea test shows significant differences between the amount of caffeine in the different brands of supplements, as well as significant differences in the amount of actual caffeine found and expected levels of caffeine.
As methods, we used high-pressure liquid chromatography. Then, 10 milligrams of caffeine powder were dissolved in 100 milliliters of water to create a 0.1 milligram per milliliter stock. The stock was then used to make 9 standards ranging from 2 to 100 micrograms per milliliter in water. The samples were injected onto the high-pressure liquid chromatography, and the peak area was plotted against the concentration to create a standard curve.
The contents of the 3 capsules, all 3 tablets, were each weighed separately, then combined before processing. The supplements in tablet form, as well as the green coffee and green tea, were grounded into powder. Approximately 0.3 grams of composite sample was weighed, then transferred to an AMF flask, and 30 milliliters of merely boiling water was added. The flask was covered in a hot water bath with agitation for 20 minutes. The replicates were prepared for each sample. Once the solutions were stirred and cooled, they were filtered through a Wattman 41 filter paper. Each solution was then filtered and transferred to an HPLC using 0.44 micrometers syringe filter. As necessary, dilutions were made so that the peak areas within the range of the standard curve. The samples were then injected in the HPLC. The total milligrams caffeine per capsule was calculated using this formula.
This study was designed to evaluate the differences in caffeine concentration between dietary supplements containing green tea, coffee bean extracts, and green coffee. Green tea and green coffee were used as a basis for comparison because the extracts were not diluted and are as, if not more, concentrated than pure green coffee and green tea. They serve as a reference to help determine how much more concentrated the extract was, as shown in this table.
The dietary supplements used in this study and the corresponding results were summarized in Figure 1.
Analysis showed that all pairs of supplements have significantly different amounts of caffeine except for the Merit-Mayer and Nature's Measure, Merit-Mayer and Swenson Grapeseed, and Nature's Measure and Swenson Grapeseed pairs. To conclude,
with the countless number of weight loss supplements, it's almost impossible to tell which ones have too much caffeine and which ones are safe. In some cases, the difference between the expected levels of caffeine and the actual amount of caffeine found was significant, as shown in Figure 1.
Thank you for the time.